Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 2nd of August 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we will cover all the important areas from the editorial section of the newspaper. We are also going to cover those areas that are important for the prelims exam. And also we have included some questions for discussion for the prelims and also for the mains exam. So let us quickly start the discussion of the Hindu newspaper. So these are the list of articles that we are going to cover in today's discussion, right? So in this page we have listed 6 such articles, right? The name of the articles, their relevance, and also the page number has been mentioned over here. Along with this, like, we are going to cover few more articles, okay? So these are the other articles that we are going to cover in today's discussion, all right? So in all we are going to cover 11 such topics in today's discussion. So let us start the discussion with the first topic. The name of the first topic is, it says the dangers in the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. Okay, name of the topic is the dangers in the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. So you might be knowing that the present government has introduced the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill in the Parliament of India, right? And it has gone through certain, let's say, stages in the Parliament. So we are going to discuss about it, and also, like, when we talk about how it is relevant with the syllabus reference is mentioned over here. So let us start the discussion of the first topic quickly. So name of the topic is the dangers in the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. Okay. So we are going to understand this particular thing, the dangers in the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. So let us understand what do we mean by Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. Okay, Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023. So this bill, like, let's say the present government has introduced in the Parliament, and this bill, before introduction in the Parliament, right, initially, right, there was a ministry that has, let's say, like, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It is known as MeitY in short, right? Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So this particular ministry had shared a draft of this particular bill in the year of 2021. And after that draft bill was criticized, okay? That draft bill was criticized because of many provisions, right, in that particular bill. Some of the provisions were criticized by many stakeholders. That includes, let's say, like, opposition members of the Parliament, right, opposition members, and also it includes like some lawyers, right, and other citizens, right, other citizens. They have shown their displeasure regarding this draft bill that was introduced earlier. So recently there was a joint parliamentary committee, okay, there was a joint parliamentary committee So this joint parliamentary committee has given its approval on the draft Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, okay, it has given its approval. And if I talk about this approval, so before giving this approval, this bill has not been shown to many of the members of the parliament. So that's why many people are criticizing the central government about its haste, about its, let's say, like, haste in introduction of this particular bill. So let us discuss about some of the provisions of this bill, some of the provision of Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. What are the provisions there in the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill? One of the provision in the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill wants to amend the Right to Information Act, okay, like, RTI Act, Right to Information Act of 2005. This Right to Information Act of 2005 gives rights to the citizens of India, right? It gives rights to the citizens for seeking information, right? Seeking information from public authority, right? Seeking information from public authority. And this particular RTI Act holds the government accountable. It holds the government accountable for its acts of omission and commission. Why? Because the citizens can seek any information under the RTI Act. However, in the RTI Act itself, there are some provisions that allow some exceptions, okay, that allow some exceptions for the public information officers, okay, public information officers, and using these exceptions, the public information officers can deny, right? They can deny giving information to the public at large. However, this Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, this bill that the government, the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill that the government wants to introduce in the parliament, this, let's say, like, widens the scope of this exception, okay? It widens the scope of this exception under which the public information officials can deny information that it thinks that, like, it is seeking some information related to personal data of a person. However, in this article, the author has talked about that personal data can be sought because, like, the author has given some of the examples where personal data is made public by the government, okay? Personal data is made public by the government. For example, in one case, in the case of, let's say, public distribution systems, PDS systems, right? In PDS systems, the ration cards, right, name of the ration card holders and also name of the PDS shops, right, PDS shops. These things are made public so that, like, there is a social scrutiny, there is a scrutiny by the people over there, okay. So these are the things. However, the present Personal Data Protection Bill, what it wants to do, it wants to widen the scope of exceptions and also it wants to make, right, the RTI Act a toothless act. So that's why the author has suggested that, like, it should not be allowed to be passed in the parliament without, like, due consideration, without a public debate. However, like, it has been seen that the present government is in haste, right? It wants to pass the bill through the parliament without, let's say, like, giving due attention for the public discussion in these bills, okay. So this is one of the thing in this article that they have mentioned, and in this article they have mentioned about a let's say, like, report which is given by the Justice AP Shah, okay. Justice AP Shah report was, let's say, like, released earlier, and in that Justice AP Shah report, what they have done, okay, this report name is important, Justice AP Shah. So he has given a report on privacy of citizens. He has given a report on privacy of citizens, and he has talked about that, like, privacy of the citizens should be taken care of, and also, like, if I talk about the present Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, this bill should not meddle with the right to information and right to privacy, okay, and right to privacy, and it should have enough room for the citizens so that they can seek information from the government, all right. So that's all in this topic. With this, like, we will move to the next topic for discussion. Now this topic is also very important. The name of the topic is, it says, Bus Right to Equality, the Wheels of Change in Karnataka, okay, the Wheels of Change in Karnataka. So we are going to discuss about it. The syllabus of this particular topic is mentioned over here under GS paper 2. It is important under GS paper 2, and also it is important under GS paper 3. So, like, syllabus reference is mentioned. Now let us understand this particular topic. Name of this topic is Bus Right to Equality, the Wheel of Change, the Wheel of Change in Karnataka. So let's discuss about this topic. So recently, the government of Karnataka, state government of Karnataka, has come up with a policy. Name of that policy is known as Shakti policy, okay? Shakti scheme. And what is this scheme all about? Under this Shakti scheme, women will be allowed to ride for free in public buses, okay? They will be allowed to ride for free in public buses, okay? Public bus in Karnataka, in public buses in Karnataka. So this scheme is, let's say, like, they have mentioned the name of this scheme is Shakti. Shakti means empowerment, okay? Shakti means power. So this scheme is essentially for women empowerment. This scheme is for women empowerment. And the author has, talked about multiple points in support of this particular scheme. Is the Karnataka government the only state in India that has, let's say, like, enacted such a law, such an act? No. Before Karnataka, there are other states. For example, in the state of Delhi, they made this particular thing bus ride free in 2019. Apart from this, in the state of Punjab, right? Punjab and Tamil Nadu, okay, in the state of Punjab and Tamil Nadu, this scheme is already existing, okay. From 2021 they have implemented. So far 4 states in India have implemented schemes that allow, free transportation for women in public buses in that state, okay. So the author has talked about like why it is a positive step. First of all, they have referred about a book, okay, they have referred the name of a book in this article, name of a book in this article. I am going to write the name of the book, okay. So name of the book that they have mentioned is Why Loiter, okay, name of the book is Why, W-H-Y-L-O-I-T-E-R, Why Loiter. So this is the name of a book that they have referred, and this book has been written by 3 women authors, okay, it is written by 3 women authors, and these women authors talk about, right, that all the public spaces in India, right, public spaces, let's say, like, public spaces like roadside, okay, roadside, or like in tea stalls, and similarly in various other places we see dominance of male people. Only males are found, and even if women are found, so they are found in very less numbers in these public spaces. So these things have been mentioned in this particular book. So the authors say that, like, the dominance of male, right, in public spaces showcases a deep rooted, okay, it showcases a deep rooted patriarchal system, okay, patriarchal system in India, patriarchal system in India. Why it showcases a deep rooted patriarchal system? Because there is a concept of, gender division of work, okay. So gender division of work. What do we mean by gender division of work? It simply means that, like, some kind of work will be done by men. For example, going to outside, doing outside work, it will be done by men. Other household works will be done by women, okay. So gender division of work has also contributed to the patriarchal nature of Indian society, and the author feels that if women are allowed to, let's say, participate, in public spaces, so they will be empowered. And if we talk about this Shakti scheme of the government of Karnataka, this Shakti scheme essentially empowers the women, because in many cases women are staying at home and they do not receive money from their, let's say, husband. So they are dependent on their husbands, they are dependent on their male partners in the home for any money, and like if they have to pay money for travel, so they will be constrained. So that's why this scheme empowers them to, let's say, like, use the public transportation system for moving in any places, right. So they will be able to move to the, let's say, schools, they will be able to go to colleges, they will be able to, let's say, move to some other places free of cost in the states, like in these states. So author says that why, author answers that why bus ride by women, okay, bus ride or free bus ride. So the author says why the free bus ride by women should not be considered as a freebie, okay, freebie by the government. Why it should not be considered as a freebie? So in that perspective, the author gives some examples. Examples like if I talk about public schools or government schools, if we talk about government schools, in these government schools, like people do not have to pay fee, and if they have to pay fee, that is very minimal, okay. So these government schools are providing free of cost education. What they are providing? They are providing free education to people. Do we consider it as part of freebie? No. Most of us do not consider it to be a part of freebie. Apart from this, if I talk about hospitals, right, if we talk about hospitals, especially the government hospitals, right? In government hospitals, like they treat the patient without any money, very minimal amount of charge, let's say 1 rupee or 10 rupee. So can we consider it free? No, right? Apart from this, third is like, we do have public parks. In public parks also, like we enjoy, and it is also for free. It is also available for free for the citizens. Apart from this, if we take the example of roads, road infrastructure that are built, right? People generally pay fees for using the road, okay? I mean, like, although there is a transportation charges that people have to pay, like when they are using their own vehicle and all, so that's not, I mean, like, it is not that much limited, so it is can be considered as free. But are all these things like government schools, hospitals, public parks, roads, are they truly free? No, they are not truly free, because the money comes from taxpayers, okay, taxpayers' money. They are part of taxpayers' money. Similarly, if we talk about the bus ride, free bus ride, okay, it should not be considered as free, because it also comes from taxpayers' money. It also comes from taxpayers' money. So this is the thing. This is one argument that the author makes, and apart from this, the author makes another argument, okay. Author makes another argument related to this. What kind of argument is, like, some people feel that free bus ride for women is discriminatory. People feel that it is discriminatory. Right? Why? Because only women are being given benefit, not male partners are given, not males are given benefit. Okay, people feel that it is discriminatory. Related to this also, the author has given multiple points. The author says that the Article 15 clause 1 of the Constitution of India talks about prohibition of discrimination only on the basis of sex, caste, religion, etc. Okay, so it talks about prohibition, right, of discrimination. Prohibition of discrimination on the basis of caste, sex, etc. However, at the same time, we have Article 15 clause 3 in the Constitution of India that says that nothing in this article should stop the government from making provisions for women and children. Okay, so it talks about giving benefit, okay, special benefit for women and children, okay, special benefit for women and children. So even in the Constitution of India, it is mentioned clearly that women and children can be given special benefits by the state. Okay, it is a constitutional right as well. So author says these things. Apart from this, the author makes other arguments also. That, like, if you want to bring women at par with the male in the society, in that case you have to provide certain special privileges to them, so that, like, they can come out of the, let's say, social constraints that are existing in the society. Okay, so this topic has been written, right, in a manner that, like, it apprises the Shakti scheme of the government of Karnataka. Remember, Karnataka is the 4th state in India, right? We have Delhi, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, then Karnataka. These are the states that have allowed free bus ride for women, right? So that's the thing. So with this, we will move to the next topic quickly. Right. So for your benefit, we have included Article 15 over here. In your free time, you can download this particular PDF from the description of the YouTube video, and you can go through the article. Here, like, you know, all the clauses of the article is mentioned here, and Article 15 clause 3 that says nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any special provision for women and children, okay? That we have discussed over here now. Apart from this, like, we do have a question for you. You can practice writing these questions, right, and share answer to us at evaluation@lukmaanias.com, okay, evaluation@lukmaanias.com. After writing this answer, you need to write this answer in about 150 words. It says recently the Karnataka government launched the Shakti scheme in 2023 to provide free bus travel to women in the state. Discuss the benefit and challenges of Shakti scheme, okay. So this is the thing. So with this, we will move to the next topic quickly. This topic is also very important. It is important from Indian economy point of view, because this topic talks about geographical indication tag, okay. So we are going to understand about GI tag, okay. We are going to understand about GI tag. Name of this topic is GI tags given to crafts from Rajasthan, like mangoes grown in Goa. Okay. So let us understand what do we mean by GI tag. GI tag stands for geographical indication tag, okay. It stands for geographical indication tag. Geographical indication tag. So what do we mean by geographical indication tag? Basically, like, there are authorities in India that give, let's say, you know, intellectual property rights. The geographical indication tag in short is known as GI tag. So GI tag is a classification. It is a classification of intellectual property rights, okay. It is a classification of intellectual property rights. So there are many intellectual property rights that are available. For example, if I talk about patents, geographical indication, trademarks, trade secret, industrial design, etc. They are, let's say, examples of intellectual property right. These GI tags are given, like, you know, it is given, it is a community right. I mean, like, it is not given to an individual person or individual organization. It is given to a community. And why geographical indication tag is given? To signify, okay, to signify the geographical importance, okay, geographical importance of a product, okay, geographical importance of a marketable product, okay, of a marketable product. Means, let's say, there can be, you know, certain things that are produced in some specific locations itself. If I talk about, let's say, you know, saris that are being made in Surat, then, you know, diamonds of Surat. And if I talk about, there are certain locks that are you know, manufactured in a specific geographical location, and there is specific variety of rice, specific variety of banana that is found in a specific geographical location. It is, let's say, these things are produced by a group of people, by a community of people. It may be produced by, let's say, thousands of people in that particular geographical location. So it is a community right that is given, and this right is given for a period of 10 years. Okay, this right is given for a period of 10 years. So once a geographical indication tag is given, it is given for a period of 10 years. After 10 years, it expires. They may reapply for geographical indication, right, after some time. So this is about geographical indication tag. Now let us understand, like recently the government has given, government means like it is given by different offices that are located in different places in India, right. So they have given, right, geographical indication tag to 7 such products. Okay, these products, like name of these products are mentioned here itself. So we are going to understand about it. So they have mentioned, right, that this Jaleshar Dhatu, like Shilp, metal craft, okay, this is given a geographical indication tag. Then Goa Mankurat mango, then Goan Babinka, Udaipur craft gari metal craft, and then Bikaner Kashida Kari craft, Jodhpur Bandhej craft, and Bikaner Usta Kala craft were the ones which which have received geographical indication tag, and they have mentioned about details of these geographical indication tag. In your free time, what you can do, you can just download these things and understand the details about these GI tags that have been recently given, right, that have been recently awarded. So this is an economical concept that's related to intellectual property rights. Okay. So with this, like we have a question on this topic. Okay, we are going to solve this question. So it says, what is the significance of geographical indication tag? They have given multiple options. The significance I have already discussed during the discussion. It says option D is right. It says GI tag indicates that the product has a unique geographical origin and possesses a specific qualities or reputation associated with the region. Okay, it indicates the product has a unique geographical origin and possesses specific qualities or reputation that is associated with the region. Okay, so this is geographical indication tag. Now, the explanation to this question is given in this slide, right? You can read the explanation in your free time. Now we have another topic. This topic is very important. You might be knowing that Chandrayaan, mission Chandrayaan was one of the flagship mission of the like Indian government or Indian Space Research Organization. So ISRO has recently launched mission Chandrayaan, okay, Chandrayaan 3, okay. So we have launched Chandrayaan 3 mission. So this was the third version of Chandrayaan 3 mission. This was launched, under New Space India Limited, NSIL, right? So NSIL, let's say, like was one of the entity like that has us. So that was part of this. So basically, let us discuss about this. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the technical things associated with Chandrayaan 3. So it was launched on 14th of July. Okay, it was launched on 14th of July by ISRO. And after it was launched, right, they have done maneuver, means like they have changed the direction of this Chandrayaan, this Chandrayaan spacecraft. Why they have changed? So that, like, they can send it to the moon. So, like, so in this article, they have mentioned about all these dates, like on 15th July, they have done the first maneuver and they have placed the Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft in the this 41,762 kilometer into 173 kilometer orbit. So this orbit is known as, initially they have, let's say, like launched this in this particular orbit. So this is known as elliptic parking orbit. Okay, it is known as elliptic parking orbit. So what do we mean by elliptic parking orbit? Let's say, like, let's understand about elliptic parking orbit quickly. Let's understand about this elliptic parking orbit. Let's say this is Earth, and around Earth, what we are doing, we are launching something. Okay, we are launching. So initially, it will be launched in an orbit like this. Then this can be maneuvered like this. Then this can be maneuvered like this. It can be maneuvered like this. So basically, this orbit around which the Chandrayaan is, let's say, revolving is elliptic in nature. Okay. So using elliptic orbit, basically what we can do, we can maneuver its direction, we can maneuver so that after some time it can be made to reach, okay, it can be made to reach the moon. Okay, moon also will be having an elliptic orbit, right? Moon also will be having an elliptic orbit as shown in this particular diagram, okay? It will also be having an elliptic orbit like this. So we are going to place, right? We are going to place the Chandrayaan on moon, okay? So here this is Earth and this is moon, okay? This is moon that we have drawn. So this is the thing. So initially we have placed it into the elliptic parking orbit. This orbit is known as, and then this is known as like orbit of the moon. So now 5 times this maneuver has been done, right? First maneuver, second, third, fourth, fifth. So 5 times it has been done. And now what we have done, like, we are going to place this particular thing into this lunar transfer trajectory so that like it reaches the orbit of the moon, okay? So this is the thing. In this article they have just discussed about it. But like we can discuss about Chandrayaan mission in our editorial discussion class that's going to come very soon. So there we are going to discuss many technical things associated with this, okay? So with this, like we have another topic. This topic is also very important. It says core comfort. Government effort to boost infrastructure is yielding results, okay? So here in this article they have talked about index of industrial production, okay? Index of industrial production. In the index, this index of industrial production is released by, okay, released by an organization. This is statistical organization, like Central Statistical Organization and all. Just give me a minute, I'll mention the exact name of this organization. It is released by Central Statistical Organization. This is released by Central Statistical, okay, Organization, CSO. And as part of this index of industrial production, they have index of 8 core industries, okay? They have index of 8 core industries. As part of this, we do have 8 core industries are considered as part of index of industrial production. So let us understand about those 8 core industries, okay? Those 8 core industries that form part of index of industrial production. These industries include cement, it includes steel, okay? It includes cement, it includes steel, then it includes electricity, refinery product, electricity, then it has refinery products, it has crude oil, then it has coal, cement, natural gas, it has coal, cement, natural gas and fertilizers. Coal, cement is already written, natural gas, and 8th, fertilizers, okay? So these 8 things are part of index of industrial production, okay? They are part of index of industrial production, okay? They are part of index of industrial production. So this index of industrial production is released by the Central Statistical Organization, CSO, okay? So this is what is important. And other information that they have mentioned about, let's say, recent updates, like, which industries have performed better, which industries, let's say, the performance has gone down, etc. So this very current data, statistical data, it is not important. What is important that you should understand that index of industrial production is released by the Central Statistical Organization or Central Statistical Office, and it has index of 8 core industries, and I have written the names of these 8 core industries for you. Then in this article we are going to discuss about the IIM Bill is a bold move. Okay, so recently the government of India has introduced the Indian Institute of Management Bill. Okay, so we are going to discuss about it because there are many things in this article. Okay, so we are going to discuss this thing. Name of the topic is the IIM Bill is a bold move. The IIM Bill is a bold move. Okay, so we are going to understand about it. Let's understand what is the IIM Bill. So basically this IIM Bill wants to amend the Indian Institute of Management Act. Okay, it wants to amend Indian Institutes of Management Act 2017. Okay, so already an act is in place which is known as Indian Institute of Management Act, Indian Institute of Management Act 2017. So this bill wants to amend this particular thing. Okay, this IIM Bill wants to amend. Okay, IIM Bill 2023 wants to amend this bill. Why it wants to amend and what were the provisions of the Indian Institute of Management Act? So we are going to understand about the IIM Act. Okay, we are going to understand about IIM Act 2017. This IIM Act 2017 gives rights to the Board of Governors. Okay, so Board of Governors are constituted. Board of Governors are constituted in every Indian Institute of Management, and these Board of Governors has a chairperson. It has a chairperson and it has many members. Okay, it has many members and its members are generally the professors and let's say like administrative departments. Also it has two nominees of the central government. Okay, it has two nominees of the government it has two nominees of the government. So this act was made let's say enacted by the government of India to give autonomy right, autonomy to Indian Institute of Management, okay, to IIMs, so that they can do their function themselves, they can decide the fees, they can do everything. But recently, like these IIMs, like there have been many complaints from these IIMs. These complaints are in the nature of, let's say, like exorbitant fees in MBA courses, right? This is one of the thing. Apart from this, these IIMs have to, let's say, constitute an expert panel, and they should, let's say, like release a report that is known as this report is known as review report. Okay, so only the review report of IIM. Okay, so they have mentioned that like these IIMs have to constitute an independent review commission. Okay, every 3 years, independent review commission. Okay, they should constitute independent review commission every 3 years. Okay, every three years, like once every 3 years, they have to constitute a commission and they have to release a report. Okay, they have to release a report publicly, they have to display that report. However, the government of India or government has noticed that none of these IIMs have done so. Only the IIM Bangalore, Indian Institute of Management Bangalore, has done it so far. They have put the review report so far, and there are some other irregularities also. So this IIM Bill 2023, what it wants to propose? It wants to create a post of a visitor. Okay, it wants to create a post of visitor. And who will be the visitor? The visitor will be the President of India. Okay, the visitor will be the President of India. And this visitor, I mean the President of India, will have the authority to dissolve, okay, to dissolve the Board of Governors. She will be having authority to remove the director of the IIM, to remove the director of the Indian Institute of Management. She will have the authority to nominate persons, right, nominate persons who will be made a director, right, of the IIM, like that. So now the wide ranging authority will be given to the director of the like visitor of the IIM. Like who will be the visitor? Visitor will be the President of India. And people are saying that this is going to curb, this is going to take away, right? This is going to be an action against autonomy of the, okay, it will be an action against autonomy of IIM, okay, IIM. But the author has said that, like, you know, if government of India does not take control, right, over how the directors are appointed, how, let's say, things happen in IIMs, in that case, like, you know, they will become, let's say, malfunctional after some time, okay. So that's why it is necessary. And author has given multiple, let's say, viewpoints related to this, right. Author has said that the government has shown courage in seeking to restore accountability in the IIM system, okay. So this particular act, this you know, the Indian Institute of Management Bill 2023, this is going to take away the autonomy. It is going to, like, you know, bring control of the central government in multiple affairs related to Indian Institute of Management. So that's all in this article. With this, we are going to understand about another topic. This topic, right, you know, name of this topic is climate finance adds another layer, okay. Climate finance add another layer of inequity to climate change, right. So this topic is very important because here we are going to discuss about many things, okay. We are going to discuss about climate finance also. So let's understand about this topic quickly. Name of this topic is climate finance adds another layer of inequity to climate change. Climate finance adds another layer of inequity to climate change. So let's understand this thing. So recently it has been noticed, right, it has been noticed that July 2023, right, July 2023 has become the hottest month, right, hottest month in 174 years record, okay. So July 2023 has become hottest month. And so what it indicates, it indicates that global warming is happening. It indicates that global warming, it indicates that global warming is happening at a rapid pace. And recently the, let's say, Secretary General of the United Nations Secretary General, okay, Antonio Guterres has said that, like, you know, the era of global warming has ended and now the era of global boiling has started, okay, global boiling has started. So he has mentioned about this particular thing. What it indicates? It indicates that, like, you know, climate change is happening at a very rapid pace. And now who is going to restore balance in the environment? The balance in the environment has to be restored by all those parties who are affected by it, who are being affected, right? The affected parties are, let's say, developed countries, okay, developed countries and developing nations, okay, developed and developing nations. However, these developed nations have developed, let's say, like, their economies at the cost of climate, you know, at the cost of climate change. So what they have done, while going for industrialization, they have, let's say, you know, emitted huge amount of carbon dioxide. they have, let's say, compromised on climate change, and these developing countries, they do have the, let's say, need of development, they have need of development, and for that purpose, okay, they have need of development. So for that purpose, they also have to go through a phase of industrialization, they have to go through a phase of industrialization, and for going through a phase of industrialization, they also need to emit carbon dioxide, or they need to emit greenhouse gases, okay, they need to emit greenhouse gases. However, like these, like, together the world has come to a consensus that we need to reduce the amount of global greenhouse gas emission, and for that purpose, these countries, these developing nations need to move to a new, let's say, new thing. What new thing? They need to move to alternative sources of energy, they need to adopt alternative technologies, right, that are going to be climate friendly, okay, that are going to be climate friendly. So these developed countries have a historical responsibility for the injustice that they have done, okay, they have historical responsibility for the injustice that they have done to the responsibility to the climate, right, and so they need to finance, right, they need to finance for the efforts of developing nations for adopting alternative technologies, and these developed countries and developing countries, they have, let's say, like, they have taken, they have, come to a conclusion, they have approved together that these developed countries are going to finance, right, developed countries are going to finance the efforts of developing nations, and they have created a fund which is known as Global Climate Fund, okay, they have created a fund, Global Climate Fund, like that, a fund, in name similar to like that. So these developed countries will have to, let's say, contribute $1 billion, okay, $1 or $100 billion, they have to contribute $100 billion every year, right, $100 billion every year. However, these developed countries have adopted these targets that they are going to help in the funding of this thing. However, they have not done it so far, okay. These developed countries, if they have, let's say, committed that we are going to fund this much, however, if I talk about the actual scenario, so they might have funded only this much, okay, the white color. So this is committed, approved, and this one is actually, let's say, disbursed, okay. So there is a discoherence, okay, there is a discoherence between what they have proposed and what they are doing. So in this article, they have, let's say, talked about this particular factor through various graphs, okay. These graphs are mentioned. Chart 1 says CO2 emission per capita emitted in 1980 to 2021 by various geographical regions, okay, carbon dioxide emitted per capita. So, and second, it talks about, like, in different countries, for example, India, China, Europe, Oceania, United Arab Emirates, the United States of America. This is one graph. Second graph, total climate investment by each World Bank region as a fraction of that region's total GDP in 2019 and 2020. So the blue one shows 2019 data, red one 2020 data, that how much climate investment they have done, right, as a percentage of their GDP. So it is, let's say, like, most of the country, for most of the country it is, for all the country it is less than, let's say, 1.5%, and for most of the country it is less than 1% also. So these are the regions, like, East Asia and Pacific, Western Europe, US and Canada, Central or East Asia, South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, Oceania, West Asia, North Africa, and Latin America, okay. So this is the thing. Apart from this, if I talk about the chart 3, right, you need to go through these chart in your free time, right, you need to try to understand what this chart wants to showcase, what data it is giving, because these information will be helpful for you in writing an answer in the mains exam in GS paper 3 as part of environment and ecology, right. The chart 3 talks about, this chart shows the total approved climate fund and the actual funds dispersed, okay, towards each region. Let's say the total fund that these countries have approved is showcased using blue color, and the red color showcases the fund that was actually disbursed. So you see there is a huge disbalance. Let's say like, you know, this much was approved and this much was disbursed, this much was approved, this much was disbursed, right? So these let's say like these regions are mentioned, like World Bank regions are mentioned. Then the fourth one talks about the climate vulnerability index, right? So which countries are affected, which regions are affected more by climate change? So that is mentioned, that Sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia. Then WANA stands for West Asia, okay, West Asia and North Africa, okay. There is a region which is known as WANA. WANA means West Asia and North Africa, okay. So that region is also mentioned. So which countries are affected by climate change to what extent, that is mentioned in this graph. So in your free time you need to go through this graph to understand this topic in detail, alright. So with this, like, we will move to the next topic. And also we do have a question for you for solving. So we are going to solve this question. It says, with reference to the Spatial Climate Change Fund, with reference to the Spatial Climate Change Fund, consider the following statements. It says it was established in 2010 to finance adaptation projects, okay. This statement is wrong because this was established in the year of 2001, not in 2010. Second, it says the Global Environment Facility has been entrusted to operate this fund, okay. So there is a facility which is known as GEF, okay, GEF. What is the full form of it? It is Global Environment Facility, okay, Global Environment Facility. So this Global Environment Facility has been entrusted to operate this particular fund, a Spatial Climate Change Fund, where the developed countries have to contribute their funds so that developing countries can use it for adopting alternative technologies for mitigating the climate change, right, because of the developmental activity that they will be taking. So now they have asked about which of the above statements is or are incorrect. So only the first statement is incorrect. So our answer would be option A. Option A will be the right answer in our case, okay. So that's the thing. So with this, like, we will move to the next topic. Explanation is given, you can just download the PDF and go through the explanation. Then we have another topic. This topic is also very important. It says big concerns over big cats, right? Big cats means tigers, okay. Big cats means tiger. We are talking about tiger. Why we are talking about tiger now? Because recently we have celebrated International Tiger Day. And as part of International Tiger Day, right, before International Tiger Day, basically we have come up with our, you know, tiger census, okay. We have come up with something known as tiger census, okay, tiger census. So what is tiger census? Tiger census is an exercise to let's say count the number of population, number of tigers in India, okay. So we have come up with the tiger census, and as per tiger census, like in India we have, let's say, around more than 3,600 tigers in India. So which constitute, let's say, greater than 70% of the tiger population in the world, okay. So India has more than 70% of the tiger population in the world. And has the tiger population gone up? Yes, the tiger population has consistently gone up in past many years. In previous day, I mean, like, you know, 2-3 days back we have discussed about it. We have also showcased a data graph that talked about, like, you know, in 2006 what was the population of tiger, in 2010 what was the population, 2014, 17, 19, 2000, let's say, like, you know, 17 and 23, like that. So we have discussed. Now let's discuss about this thing. So this tiger census is conducted in India every 4 years, okay. It is conducted once every 4 years. This data is very important. This tiger census is conducted once every 4 years in India. So that's why it is important for us to understand. And in this article they have talked about that in which state how much percentage of tiger has increased, right. They have discussed about some of the tiger reserves that are found in the state of Karnataka. They have basically talked about the state of Karnataka. So they have also mentioned some tiger reserves. They are, let's say, so they have, you know, this Malai Madheshwara Hill this wildlife sanctuary, and they have Bandipur Tiger Reserve, they have, let's say, many tiger reserves, so they have mentioned the name of these tiger reserves in this article. And they have also talked about the role of National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA, in this regard. Okay, so how many tiger reserves do we have in India as of now? In India we have 53 tiger reserves, okay, 53 functional tiger reserves in India. And this map showcases the tiger reserves that are located in India in various states, right? In your free time you can go through these tiger reserve names, right? And that will help you, right, to understand about the, let's say, like places where tiger conservation is done in India. So with this we will move to the next topic, and like we have a question also for you. This question is based on National Tiger Conservation Authority, okay. It says, with reference to the National Tiger Conservation Authority, consider the following statements. First statement, it says, it is a statutory body. Yes, this is a statutory body. National Tiger Conservation Authority is a statutory body. It says, second, it has been constituted under the Environment Protection Act 1986. No, this has been constituted under Wildlife Protection Act, right, 1972, okay. So that's why the second statement is incorrect, and we need to identify which of the above statements are correct. Only A, only first statement is correct, second statement is incorrect. So we will go through the solution also. So this National Tiger Conservation Authority has been established under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It has not been established under Environment Protection Act 1986, okay. This statement says the National Tiger Conservation Authority is a statutory body under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So you can go through the explanation of this question in your free time. You can go through this PDF. Now let us talk about another topic. This topic is also very, very important. It says the Holocene climate anomalies, okay. So we are going to discuss about this topic. The Holocene climate anomalies, okay. So let's understand about this. So this topic has been written in the context that, like, July 2023 has been recorded as the hottest month, okay, hottest month in last, right, in last 174 years. So this data was there in a previous days, the Hindu newspaper article. However, in this article they have mentioned, like, so this July 2021 has been considered to be, let's say, the hottest month in over, let's say, 1 lakh years, okay. So when we compare the data of over 1 lakh years, so this month has been considered as the hottest month in the last 1 lakh years. So in this article what they have said, they have talked about that, paleoproxies. They said, like, we do not have any scientific method, to come up with a climate data or exact temperature related data of so long period. So this is a kind of, like, usage of paleoproxies, okay, usage of paleoproxies. Paleoproxies means using some kind of biological resources. For example, we see the resources of, like, biological resources in a particular place. We see how that resources has changed because of climate change. We compare that particular thing with those places that were under ice, those places, and also with those places that were having, let's say, those thing, what we say, like, that were having hotter areas. So these climate so the author says here that, like, one should not use, right, the Holocene climate anomalies, right. So the author says, like, that modern societies have placed a considerable amount of trust in their scientists. Balancing accurate and reliable information with climate action can ensure trust in scientists, government and initiatives addressing the consequences of climate change. and squandering this trust would render irreversible damage to the efforts. Okay, so they say like whatever responsibility that the society has placed on scientists, so that responsibility should be utilized by scientists in a manner, right, that keeps the faith and trust into the scientist, right. It should not be squandering about, it should not give false information, right. So that's why the author has mentioned about it. So author mentioned that like this is just a relative data, it's not a let's say fine-tuned data. So what is important for us to understand here in this article, right, it is important to understand what do we mean by Holocene. Okay, what do we mean by Holocene? What do we mean by Holocene epoch? Okay, what do we mean by Holocene epoch? So when we talk about Holocene epoch, Holocene is a it's a time period. Okay, it's a time period. Holocene epoch is a time period. So this time period is related to the geological time scale. It is related to geological time scale. What do we mean by geological time scale? Geological time scale actually is the time scale of the since the formation of earth. So when the earth was formed, after then whatever let's say big changes has happened in in the let's say in the geography of the earth or the climate of the earth, and big events that has happened. So this geological time scale let's say like measures all of it with reference to the earth. And so related to Holocene epoch, we do have another term which is in news, right. This is known as Anthropocene epoch. Okay, it is known as Anthropocene epoch. What do we mean by Anthropocene epoch? Anthropocene epoch means a time period, right. So one of the scientists has proposed that like it should be considered the end of Holocene epoch, and now a new time period has started that is known as Anthropocene epoch. Why? Because now human beings are playing, right, human beings are playing bigger bigger role in climate change. So human beings are playing bigger role in climate change, and because of human actions the climate has changed drastically. So that's why new time period should be included in the geological time scale itself. Now we will discuss about geological time scale. What do we mean by this? So in geological time scale, the time period since the formation of earth, I think the earth was formed at about let's say 13.4 billion years ago. Okay, billion years ago, 13.4 or 13.6 billion years ago they mentioned. So in geological time scale there are mention of let's say GA stands for giga annum. Okay, it stands for giga annum. What do we mean by giga annum? Giga annum means a time period of billion years. Let's say like 1 giga annum will be 1 billion years. It will be 1 billion years. 1 billion years means 10 raised to power 9 years. And also there is a mention of, right, there is a mention of mega annum as well. Okay, let's understand about a similar term which is known as mega annum. Mega annum means MA. It is equal to 10 raised to power 6 years. 1 mega annum is equal to 10 raised to power 6 years. Then like we have 1 kilo annum like that. So these are the time periods that are used in geological time scale. So I'll also showcase a geological time scale for you quickly. So this is known as geological time scale, and if we talk about this Holocene epoch, right, this Holocene epoch, this is the time period when modern human beings have evolved. Okay, modern human beings have evolved. Okay, modern human beings have evolved. So the entire time period of the earth is classified into 4 eons. They are known as Hadean, Archean, Proterozoic and Phanerozoic. So these are the 4 classifications. So time period is classified into 4 different, let's say like sets. One is known as aeon, then the era, period, epoch. So aeon is a bigger unit, era is a smaller unit, period is a still smaller unit, epoch is the smallest unit, right, of time period. So there are 4 eons: Phanerozoic, Proterozoic, Archean and Hadean. These are the lower one is the oldest, right. Then inside Phanerozoic we have different eras. then inside these eras we have period, and then we have epoch. So we are presently in Holocene epoch. We are presently in Holocene epoch. Okay. So this is the, let's say, geological time scale. In your free time you can go through it to understand what do we mean by geological time scale. So with this, let us talk about another topic quickly. Okay, let's discuss about this topic. It says what can be amended, what can Amended Forest Conservation Act change? What can Amended Forest Conservation Act change? So let's discuss about this topic quickly. This topic is also very important because it has been in news for a long time. Why? Because, like, this Amended Forest Conservation Act wants to amend the Forest Conservation Act 1980, right? Then this also changes the Supreme Court judgment. Okay, this also changes Supreme Court judgment in Thirumalpad case. Okay, Thirumalpad case 1996. So what changes this Forest Conservation Amendment Bill wants to bring? So if we talk about this Forest Conservation Act, this Forest Conservation Act mentions about, let's say, like, what are forest. This mention about what are forest, right? So it says that, like, all those places that are mentioned as forest in government records, right, they will be considered as forest. And also all those places, let's say, that meets the requirement of a forest or definition of forest, so they will also be considered as forest. Okay. And the Supreme Court judgment here in Thirumalpad case, they talk about that deemed forest will be all those places, that meets the dictionary definition. Okay, that meets the dictionary definition of forest, right, that meets the dictionary definition of forest. So this Forest Conservation Act, recently this has been introduced in the parliament by the, let's say, like, ruling party, and what they have done, they have passed this particular amendment bill in the Lok Sabha. Okay, it has already passed through the Lok Sabha. Okay, Lok Sabha has passed the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill. So under this Forest Conservation Amendment Bill, they want to bring many modifications. One of the thing is modification that they want to bring is in the name. Earlier that it was known as Forest Conservation Act. Now they want to name it as One Sanrakshan. Okay, One Sanrakshan Evam Samvardhan Adhiniyam. They want to change the name. Second thing, they want to give a linear, they want to allow linear construction projects, that come under, let's say, 100 kilometers from international borders, right. So all those places that come under, let's say, like, if I talk about India has certain borders, and all those places that are lying within 100 kilometers of those borders, so Government of India can go for creation of strategic projects, or let's say they can construct roads, they can construct military establishments, etc., and that do not need any kind of approval. Okay, that do not need any kind of approval. So that's the thing. Apart from this, there is another part in this that they want to change. Okay, what they want to change is, there is another thing that they want to change. They want to change the definition of forest. Okay, they want to change the definition of forest. So earlier, as per the Thirumalpad judgment, the Supreme Court of India said that all places that that meet the dictionary definition of forest will be considered as forest. However, here they say that all those areas that are that are mentioned as forest in government records, okay, that are mentioned in forest in government records, they will be considered as forest, and also those areas that have, let's say, in certain laws that are mentioned as forest, so they will be considered as forest. So this is going to do away with the Supreme Court judgment in the Thirumalpad case. Apart from this, they want to bring another change. What they want to bring? They want to allow, okay, they want to allow creation of zoos, okay, creation of zoo or other such structures in the forest areas. So these are the things that they want to change. However, the author says that they are going to meddle with the existing provisions, and it is going to do away with the Supreme Court judgment of 1996. That's the thing. So with this, we have another topic. This is, I think this is going to be the last topic for the day. It says Bhima-Koregaon and UAPA striking the balance, okay, striking the balance between security and rights. So what is Bhima-Koregaon case? Bhima-Koregaon means there was a conclave that was held. Conclave means meeting of people in Bhima-Koregaon, and soon after the conclave, the next day, there has been a violence, okay, a violence has erupted, and that violence has killed, okay, that violence has killed few people. I think one person or few people have been killed. And soon after that violence, what the police authorities have done, police authorities have arrested, they have arrested many people who have participated in the Bhima-Koregaon, right, conclave, in the meeting, and they have applied the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA Act, on these people. Now this article talks about the UAPA Act, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act of 1967. It says that the government of India can ban any organization, right? It can ban any organization that is involved in terrorist activities, okay, that is involved in terrorist activities. Also, they can arrest all those people who are members of these banned organizations, okay, who are members of these banned organizations. So it gives a wide ranging power, and they can arrest without any inquiry or trial, right? So this UAPA Act, what recently those people who have been arrested from the Bhima-Koregaon, these people have been released by the Supreme Court of India on bail. And why they have released? Because the police authorities who have arrested these people, right, these police authorities have arrested these people by mentioning that these people have literature about these banned organizations. Literature means if someone is possessing a book that mentions about name of those banned organizations, so does that person become a member of this banned organization? No, but they have arrested them by saying that they are members of this organization. So this is one falsification, right? One falsification of usage of UAPA Act by the authorities. Apart from this, there is another thing. Let's say one person meets a member of these banned organization, right? Let's say there is an organization that has been banned by the government, and the member of that organization can be arrested by the government. If someone meets the member of that banned organization, does he also become a terrorist? No, he does not become a terrorist. However, the people have been, let's say, arrested under UAPA Act by mentioning that this person has met, the members of the banned organization. So that's the thing. And also there is a history of usage of Public Safety Act by the government in many places. And also in this article they have said that while drafting the Constitution of India, those people who were involved in the drafting of the Constitution of India, they have talked about that these wide ranging authorities should not be given by the government, because they are going to misuse it, right, to arrest innocent people under these draconian laws, draconian rules, okay, they have mentioned. And even after then, they have included the provision of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So this article talks about how do we balance, right, the rights of the citizens, the fundamental rights of the citizen with the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act that is in place, right? In your free time, you can go through it, you will understand about the Bhima-Koregaon Act, you will understand about the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act as well, right? I'm not going to discuss in detail much about it because it's going to take a long time, right? So with this, we are quickly going to solve some questions. This is one question like for the mains exam. Read this question in your free time and answer this question and share with us like on the email ID that we have already shared. Then we have another question for you. This question says, consider the following with reference to the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act UAPA, consider the following statements. It will be applicable to the crimes committed on a foreign land. This is right. Why? Because a person who has committed a crime under UAPA, either he has committed in India or he has committed it abroad, okay? Or he has committed it abroad, right? Still he can be tried under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, okay? That's the thing. It authorizes the government to ban unlawful organization. That's also true. Now they are asking which of the above statements are incorrect. Both these statements are correct, so none of them are incorrect. So correct answer would be option D in our case, okay? Option D will be the right answer in our case. So that's the thing. So you can go through the solution of this topic in your free time. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.